Hi everyone! Today you are on English part of my channel and I decided to make English video with great practice for me and a good opportunity to you to know, to learn something new or had a little bit practice with me also. Let's go! Today we are in Moscow and I want to invite you to visit Cryptography Museum. How should look like a modern readable museum? What is history it's told to us? What is cryptography and how people use it in past and now? Come on to see it!
The exhibition begins with the memory of the building hall, which is dedicated to the history of the building and people's fate was connected with it. The building was built in 1995, like a Alexander Mariinsky shelter for the poor-priced children. Then there was a school and orphanages and a special prison famous as Mariinsky Sharashka, where prisoners and civil workers together to create secret communication technology. In the 1950s, the Sharashka was transformed into the Research Institute of Automation. And the building remained secret until 2019, when it was transformed to the Museum of Cryptography. And with it, the museum received unique manuscripts, documents, photographs, household items and other artifacts that became part of the exposition.
It is hall of history of this building, where we can to know what there before it became a museum.
The first hall of the exhibition is dedicated to the digital period in the development of cryptography and its role in the life of modern man. From the beginning, we find ourselves in the corridor of communication overload, passing through with the installation that conveys the history in the modern internet with exhibited by contemporary digital artist Mario Santa Maria.
Now we are at the first hall. It is our first hall, called Cryptography in the Digital Era. There we can learn more about digital artists, about key in internet, about how keep a secret in internet.
The architecture of the space prompts us, leads us through the exhibition and becomes as a source of narration. The whole entrance and exit looks like a key shape under the question of coding, encryption and universal code. What is this? For what? And how did we come to this? And what came before? Connecting the most important topic of freedom on the internet and security in it. A separate section is devoted to our password. Where are they stored? How are they encoding? And why does Google not know our password, but at the same time can identify them. What is data caching and how does it work? RFID and NFS technology, messengers and blockchain, crypto standard and hacktivism, how it all works, what task it solved, and wherever we need to know it. Hacktivism is an interesting phenomenon that also found its place in their exposition. White and black hackers, international teams, the history of the brightest representatives of this area collect in one place. It's a hacker room. There we can know about famous hacker and specialist in IT security. Yeah. We put and think about WikiLeaks and something else. The interactive wall shows how we use all their technologies in our daily life, without even surprise how much coding and data information is behind it. Is it possible to be totally anonymous online? Let's try. This museum have English language, and you can choose English and Russian, and I don't know what should it be, but I will try. Company. Can you be completely anonymous online? Oh, it's so interesting actually. Yeah, let's go. A day with cryptography. This screen illustration, interactive screen illustration to us how often we use cryptography system in our regular life, such as pass, when we pay for underground, when we pay in the shop, when we connect with published Wi-Fi, and when we text message, absolutely, when we call our friends and family. And it's much more closer than we think. The second hall is dedicated to the most important inventions of the industrial age, the main communication channel of the 20th century: telegraph, telephone, radio, and television. Now we are in hall of cryptography in the industrial era, which scientists develop it, how it go on, and what we get in result, we can see there. It's a portrait, touch portrait.
as I told, museum absolutely inclusive and able for every person.
And scientists whose scientific discovery had a huge impact on the development of cryptography. People whose activities were related to the collection and transfer of secret data to intelligence officers, agents and spies, as well as the role of cryptography in interstate relations and its impact on historical events. At first, we plunge into collectional workspace with the household item and hobbies of the scientists. Then we are presented with a similar room of his Soviet opponent, the scientific discoveries Nikolai Chistякov. Both scientists investigated the same phenomena in different countries. Then we see one-time cipher pods. What are they and how to use them? The next part of the hall is devoted to the most famous spies of the Second World War and their methods of transmission information. Then we see exhibition of cipher machine, the Soviet Fialka and German Enigma, and many other models of devices, specially declassified for the museum. The hall will tell in details about the time when handwriter's letters were the main way of transmitting messages, which had to be classified manually because there were no electromechanical cipher machine yet. About how the first mechanical device for encryption was created, the Jefferson cylinder, about the most popular ciphers of the time, about the development of encryption business in Russia in 17th, 19th century, about the first professional decoders in the service of the state, and also about history of black cabinets in different countries. The library and the cinema are places where you can relax after going through the more than half of exhibition. pay attention to decorations that immerse you in the atmosphere, and try to decipher the message hiding on the page of the diary.
This is whole of home cryptography. How people keep secret, how people send letter, and how people use it in their regular life. We can know there. A December's diary, and one we can to descript it. The ready. The guard is ready. English school from Katila Mikina and knows it later. Choose the correct shape and letter of English smuggled to his sweetheart, and the jewels are I can't read. The jewel on. Okay, I will write down the right answer. You can write your comment.
In the fourth hall, we are talking about the most answered encryption tools and methods in the history, from the Atbas cipher and Caesar disk. Here you can also learn about the emergence of writing communication between people and the evolution of graphic signs of various writing systems, which still remains the basis for the transmission and storage of information.
I can write down my shifted message right here. This desk display explained to us how it worked in the past, and so amazing instruction illustrated. This is Protocryptography hall. In this part of museum, we can see and we can to know about history cryptography, how it began and how it began, and We choose language there, put on the button, and we can see how many times this буква, как буква по-английски, letter, and we can see how often this letter using in language. We can do it on English alphabet and also on Russian. So interesting actually. And the most interesting attraction. I can say here the message, and this message will the shifr. This attraction I can use on the Russian word, I think. Mouse in the house. I can't. And as we see how this machine shifred for us. And after that, we can take it on the paper. When? Look at this.